Dallas Mavericks have been through a lot of ups and downs this season. Right now, they're on the biggest up of their year. Excuse me. They've been an interesting team.
It feels painful.
It does.
I wouldn't say it's painful because I'm just trying to make sure that my thoughts are in order.
I don't think he's moved.
I'm moved by Luka Doncic. Like everyone else in the world is. Like anyone who respects the Dallas Mavericks is. They understand that Luka Doncic is a top 2, top 3 player in the world. In my opinion, should be the MVP this season. He has just been otherworldly on the offensive side of the basketball. He's one of the better rebounders for his position. You could argue the best rebounder at his position. He's one of the best passers in the game. He's one of the best passers this game's ever seen. And efficiently this year, he has been exceptional. Alongside Kyrie Irving, who I've been tweeting about a lot today, and I've been getting some backlash because I'm trying to enlighten the world about how, yeah, Luka Doncic has been great, but so has Kyrie Irving. And you even tweeted about it a little bit, saying how, in comparison, because you feel Luka Doncic is already leaps and bounds better than Kawhi in a playoff series, he said, let's start to have conversations about Kyrie Irving and Kawhi Leonard. Now, that's a step too far, in my opinion, and I respect you for...
Heard that one, Rip?
Certain stuff I
He's
can't take
averaging more points and assists than Kawhi Leonard.
Certain
Now,
stuff I
Averaging more
refuse
points
to
and
take
assists
serious.
than Kawhi Leonard?
He is.
That's the barometer for, like, if you're better or not?
VORP, PR has been kind of similar.
So I really wanted to acknowledge that because efficiency-wise, Kyrie Irving has been one of the most efficient players in the game. And for his position, now with Luka Doncic, he really has become that true two-guard, similar to how we saw with his tenure in Brooklyn. And he's still continuing to be the same efficient player. I forget over a certain amount of games. It might be post-trade, post-All-Star game. But in first half points, Luka is first in that. And in second half points, Kyrie Irving is first in that. What are we showing?
Look who has more greens.
Oh, yeah.
Kawhi across the board.
Yeah, for sure.
Points and assists, though.
Yeah, but when you look at
box plus minus.
When you look at what the...
Look at Vorp.
What's Vorp telling us?
Vorp's telling us who's
When you look at
more
what the green
valuable.
is,
Kawhi
though,
players.
it's not a
Do me
gap.
a favor. Can you search up Anthony Edwards?
Versus Kyrie
Irving.
Gotcha.
It's not a gap with
Anthony
the...
Edwards better not lose.
And now I'm letting it be known.
Efficiency.
I'm letting it be known. This is not a targeting at Joel because I'm having a conversation talking about the best shooting guards in the league. And there's an argument. Excuse me. There's an argument for Kyrie Irving as a top 3 shooting guard in the league if you identify him as a shooting guard. Now, you have Devin Booker, you have Donovan Mitchell, who in my opinion this season has been the best too, although he's been struggling through injury. And then that 3 spot becomes a conversation between the Anthony Edwards, Kyrie Irving, and your boy Jaylen Brown. My boy Jaylen Brown, realistically, but I can't really say that too loud. But Kyrie Irving has been...
nuts.
I know it is.
You gonna let him do that?
What?
He knows Jaylen Brown. Now, please reveal that to me. Can you just read it? Just read it for me.
All right, so games, I don't care about games played.
no.
Points per game, and
Which is 26.1 to 25.
0.3.
Okay.
Total rebounds, and I'm rounding it 6 to 5. Assist,
There's
Kyrie.
no way we're stat heading these two
No,
players.
no, no,
between
no,
who's
no.
Oh, we're having
better
fun
or
here.
worse.
No, we are.
Assist, Kyrie.
Oh, my
steals
God.
and blocks, and
We just lost
efficiency
all
across the
credibility.
board.
Correct.
And?
And?
I mean, I'm sorry,
Kyrie.
Kyrie.
Thank you. I was gonna
Kyrie.
say.
Even box plus minus, an important advanced statistic. But Vorp, unfortunately, Kyrie does not win that.
I'm having trouble just gauging what the correlation of this is.
So
don't know.
all
I
I'm
object because listen.
Can I finish speaking? Let me finish
I just
speaking.
have a.
Keep
I
trying
had
to
a.
cook
I
in,
had
man,
a
I feel
gripe.
like.
I'm not cooking him.
I had a gripe with the first thing you said. Really, when you went.
Which is?
But I'll let you finish. I wanted to see where you.
I
were getting
didn't finish.
to, but yeah, because you haven't yet. You said I'm moved by Luka, so you not moved by the Mavericks as a team.
If you can I finish?
Yes. Are you moved by them
Are you
as
gonna
a team?
stop talking?
Yes. Are you moved? That's the question. We're talking about the Mavericks as a team.
I'm trying to talk about the team.
Because you trying to prop Luka, but you trying to slight the Mavericks as a whole.
That's
why
not
I'm
true.
trying to see where you getting
I
at.
think he's a Dallas fan.
Die hard, actually. He hasn't gotten this animated about the Knicks in years.
Only RJ Barrett.
I say this because what I've been fixated the most on with the Mavericks all season long has been their defense. Never question their offense because you have 2 of the best offensive players in the league, arguably the best offensive player in Luka Doncic. Now, you mentioned to me about the defense that they're 3rd right now since
Last 10
12.
games.
last 10 games. But post-trade deadline, which was what I keep going by, they're 17th in defensive
That's
rating.
wrong. That's post All-Star break. Post trade deadline.
I
They've been top 10 in
apologize.
defense.
I meant to say Man, this guy is really,
Yeah, he's a
really.
fan.
No, I'm just saying because it's misinformation.
I did make. All you had to say,
Bro, memorize every Dallas number post during
that's
deadline.
fine.
Post All-Star.
I did mean post All-Star, correct.
Okay.
So I'm fine with him correcting me. Just a little bit less bass in your voice would have been appreciated.
He just don't
That was
disrespect
all
Dallas.
the
Don't get
all
on
the-
his boys,
all the
man.
souls
Don't
and
get his
energy from the
guys.
Mavericks fans in the comments
Trust
came
me,
out. of
I know. This is a Mavericks podcast. So I say that because last 10, they've been awesome. Have faced Utah twice in that span. Have faced the Kings.
No Laurie, right?
No, I don't believe so. No, they did face the Nuggets. This was the win that really got me the most. I mean, amazing. You keep them to 105 points, one of the better offenses in the game.
I think it was 95 the night before.
They really have been on an awesome run. The Houston Rockets have been playing some great basketball, although it's been their defense that's really been the crux of this current rejuvenation of Houston Rockets basketball. They still held them to under 100 points. It's the last 10 games, which is what I really like about that, is the competition has been relatively lackluster.
Convenient, you would say.
I don't want to go that far.
Well, in the
because-
last 12, they've been second best defense, actually.
Yeah, that's
Better
what he said.
defense.
If you go from the last 12, he said that they are better stats. But again, post All-Star break,
Which is what you enjoy.
it feels like it's relatively more recent. You get a good amount of games there. I still have them where they have been playing some awesome basketball offensively. It's undeniable. I still am not going to buy this hype of them still being what is the purpose of having this conversation, just to feel like nice they finished in second place?
Well, they're a great team in the
I'm
West.
screaming.
Dallas thinks they can be as high as the second best team in the West.
That's what I'm saying.
You
Like,
clearly
this is-
lost your bet with the Dallas Mavericks. Top 60, they're going to win that easily.
Now I'll comment
Easily.
on that. The Kings screwed me. I needed one. However, still not. I mean, two.
You know
games.
the last 12 games involved the Detroit Pistons.
That's cool. That's why the stats are better.
No. And against the Detroit Pistons, they led with the most points to them over the last 12 games.
Probably was letting them do whatever
124
at that
for sure.
point,
It was
yeah.
over.
You're trying to
140
find these
124.
individual games to nitpick why their defense
I'm not.
has
I'm not
been bad.
I mean, you mentioned the 10 games. I'm just
But
acknowledging.
let
them.
me ask you this question.
Correct.
Why would you rather use post All-Star break sample size rather
More
than
games.
trade deadline sample
More
size?
games, and it's recent.
Trade deadline is before.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Understand.
When they got the additions of PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, I think from that starting point forward, that's what matters most. And from that starting point forward, they have been a top 10 defense and offense in the NBA.
It's just a break in the season. This is like their mini rest of the NBA basketball season.
So you would still use post
No,
All-Star break over.
we can still use trade deadline,
Okay.
of course, because they've been pretty solid again against since the trade deadline.
For me, the problems with Dallas's defense has always been an effort issue. We saw this team be a top 10 defense just 2 seasons ago with similar personnel across the board. I am buying in on a defense being serviceable, and then the offense is going to be a top offense with Luka
That's
Doncic
fair.
and Kyrie Irving in the playoffs.
But again, my question to you becomes, why be so animated about the Dallas Mavericks to finish in second place?
I feel as if the point of this conversation and the reason why it should be had is because same reason why we had the Rockets conversation when they were on a win streak. They are the most important storyline happening at the moment. The Mavericks right now jumping from an 8th seed to a 5th seed within the last week, I think is one of the more important storylines. And on top of that, I really
I don't care
think,
about topic shows. I just mean in terms of passion.
I really do think they are a top 3 team in the West. How many teams in the West would you put over them?
But in the grand scheme of things, how many teams would I put over them? I would still have the Nuggets,
You can't
which
really-
ultimately
they've been one of the hottest teams in the league, so it's hard to really make a case.
It's
You can make
just
a case.
in a vacuum.
You can
just,
say it's
you know,
only been the
these are
last
the
10
teams
games.
I still believe in.
This isn't who they really are. If that's the case you want to make.
It's up to
I
you.
can make an argument for the Lakers. We've been one of the
Okay.
best offenses in the game. Effort-wise, defensively, we haven't been showing it. We've been one of the worst defenses since the post-All-Star break. I'll be consistent there, which is what I've been using a lot of. But offensively, we've been right there near the top, right there with the Dallas Mavericks.
Yep.
So, I mean, and why can't I make the argument for the Lakers?
You can.
Right? So that's a team that I could argue. OKC has been just one of the more consistent teams all season long. Without Karl Anthony Towns, I still like that Minnesota Mavericks series would be a good one. I probably would lean Mavericks just because I don't know how that team looks in the postseason.
Point is that
that's
this
really. I mean, still have to respect the Clippers.
This is clearly one of the best teams in the West. I think that's the point of the conversation.
But my thing is, the West becomes so null and void, and I feel like it's unfortunate with the NBA right now, where it's Denver. not much to really talk about.
Should we just not talk about anyone else?
Right, like I get it, but in terms of like just the passion, the drive for this team
If this was
with
the
Luka
Lakers,
Doncic, but the thing is, the Lakers still.
if the Lakers made this type of jump in the standings, you'd be head over heels.
Well,
And you're telling Mavericks fans to calm down.
let me not say that really because
You wouldn't.
we were
They've
seventh
been 9
last
all year.
I say
Drew,
that
you
with the
would go
idea.
crazy.
I say that with the idea that we were seventh and still were able to make a run. I don't care where we are placed. Personally, I don't care where we are. I still trust in my squad. Now, as for the Mavericks, you've been making a jump to go from 8 to 5. You've been playing some great basketball. You've beaten who you're supposed to beat. Hell, you weren't supposed to beat the Nuggets. Amazing win. Both games versus the Kings away, you weren't supposed to beat both of them. Well done beating both of those, especially that second game, which is what I said early on. But again, there's been a lot of games that you should have won. I'm not giving you a round of applause for beating the Utah Jazz twice.
Well, I mean, in the trade deadline or post All-Star break and the All-Star break, we all knew that they were going to have the easiest strength of schedule. And you still thought they weren't going to finish with the top 6 seed.
we had a bet early on already.
Dallas could lose 5th seed tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. If
They've been going back and forth. I mean, I have
Their
one week
schedule
where
is light.
Joel is in my ear.
If the
saying
Pelicans beat
it's
the
a lock.
Suns tonight, the
They
Pelicans
go back up, yeah. So
are
this
fifth
conversation would be for about a team that's been a 5th seed for 20
And the truth of the
hours.
matter is, I do want the Pelicans to win because I want the Lakers to keep going.
Like
right?
I think if the Pelicans made this type of jump and they were the 4th seed because they were on the Clippers' heels,
But the Pelicans
That
have
would
been
matter.
playing some awesome basketball all season.
so were the Mavericks. The Mavericks are playing
Expectations a
awesome
little
basketball.
different.
They
Right now.
haven't been playing all season though.
Yes, but they have been playing awesome
Agreed.
basketball right now,
Recently.
and there have
And
been
when-
stretches when
when they
they've been
were
healthy.
healthy, yes.
They play exceptional. When they're healthy, they have a top 4 win percentage in the Western Conference.
Now let me ask you a question, Joel, because you say that you like the Mavericks more than OKC now.
I think you make the argument. I'd probably still have OKC over them.
See, but
You
then
make the
why
argument.
say that?
Okay, fine. I have Dallas over them. We can play this game.
Okay, why?
Why?
Because offensively, OKC, where if you want to favor Dallas because of Luka, that's fine.
I
But
think Dallas and OKC
offensive-
match up well against each other.
be a fun
You
one.
had Dallas has more experience. They have the best player in the series, in my opinion. I don't look at really anyone. They,
But I
don't,
was
they probably
told
don't have the
that- I was
POA
told
defenders
SGA
to guard SGA
I was
and
told that-
J-Dub for that matter. But I think offensively, they've been able. They can match anyone. We saw 2 years ago, Luka was able to go on a run with, you mentioned it, similar personnel, except you're upgrading from Jalen Brunson now to Kyrie Irving. The defense probably isn't as good as it was that year because these numbers are fake compared to
and
the numbers that it
OKC's
was 2
defense
seasons ago.
has been great all year long,
But listen,
and they still are great.
Luka
Even-
Doncic, for the amount of shit that I've given him on this podcast, when he gets into playoffs, where he's one of the best in
of
NBA
course.
history.
But
I
again,
can't sit here and be
I've
like,
been told, which is I still believe this, that SGA can go into any series and match the best player on the opposing team.
You can.
I
don't-
think Dallas believes that.
I don't know if SGA can match Luka's offensive performance night in, night out.
I think Luka Doncic is
Not
the
many
better
can.
player. No,
That's what,
agreed.
And that's not exactly. It's not a slight to SGA. It's just Luka Doncic is going to go out there and he's going to have probably multiple games in that series where he's dropping 40.
I have faith in SGA, but that series can go back and forth. I think Luka comes out on top though. Like I think Luka, as performance wise,
for sure.
plays better.
Luka's the better player.
And it's just there's no way to guard the Mavericks. Really, there's no way. Like I know it's hard to guard
I was gonna
OKC,
say, how do we guard them?
but it's harder to guard Luka because if you blitz him, he's making every right read out of the pick and roll. And
He's
if
a
those
genius.
if those shooters get hot, it's over. They can
You could,
they can
you
beat
can
Which
make
has
that
been a
argument
problem.
for OKC
Yes.
too, though. I
But
mean,
on
Isaiah
this-
Joe,
on this
Casey
win streak-
Wallace, J-Dub, they have shooters there too.
on this win streak, they have not been shooting well from the three. They've been shooting like 30% from the three. They have not been shooting well. But then if you let Luka go on one-on-one, he could drop 22 in the first quarter like he did against the Rockets.
See, that's the thing. I'm having
I don't
the
know if he's
teammates
doing
beat him.
22 in a quarter.
I'm more worried about what the others.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm in a series
Well, that's what
versus
the
the
Warriors'
Dallas
game plan
Mavericks,
the Warriors' game plan when they beat them in the WCF was just to let Luka cook.
Yeah, because he can cook.
Yeah.
If you stop everybody else, though, it becomes harder. That's why the Kyrie factor is so big. Because he needs to find that vibe.
that's what I'm saying.
I don't know
Let
if-
the others beat me. I'm not having Luka. I'm not having
Are you
Luka
going to
beat
face
me.
a team as good as the 2022 Warriors team? Dallas, I'm saying. How locked in you guys were defensively?
Unless
I don't
it's
know.
Denver.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Defensively?
Yes, yeah, of course, Denver. Yeah.
Defensively, probably
Defensively,
not. No
no.
team has Draymond.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think
And also,
that
depending on
happened
what
because
side
you
of the
had
bracket-
such a great defense where
But
you
they
were
didn't
able
have
to.
Jalen Brunson wasn't Kyrie at that time.
That's true. Yes.
But I think teams have answers for Kyrie defensively.
When you have so much attention to Luka as well.
Yeah. I mean, if you have, like, OKC, the thing is, you probably put Dortz, but J-Dub is a great defender, too.
Yes, for
so,
sure.
that's a bigger body. He could struggle with Kyrie, but I think the main focus is just Luka's going to do whatever he's going to do. It's really not about that. It's never been about that. He's always been great in the playoffs. It's about now can guys 2 through 8 step up and have big games and big moments. If they can do that, then Dallas can make a run.